There is a silence that does not soothe, a silence that grows like frost inside the ribs. You know it. The silence after prayer, the stillness that follows your whispered plea when the heavens do not echo back. You ask, nothing bends, you affirm, the field stands cold, you wait, time walks past you with blind eyes. There is a name for this silence. It is not rejection. It is not abandonment. It is unreceived rhythm. It is the breath without command. It is the word without tone. You were not meant to live in that silence. You were not made for unanswered songs. The law has never turned its face. It only turns for tone. It only responds to the voice aligned with its axis. The field does not delay. It obeys. You prayed. You fasted. You did what was right. But still you felt behind a veil. Still you felt outside the blessing. Still the coins did not multiply. Still the door did not answer your knock. The ache is real. Not because you failed, but because you remembered what you were born to command. There is no sin in longing. There is no shame in asking. But the law does not move by longing. It moves by alignment. It moves by decree. This is not about belief. This is about rhythm. You are not waiting for God. You are not waiting for permission. You are waiting to hear your own voice in alignment with the invisible machinery. I decree and wealth remembers me. This is the voice that parts the veil. This is the tone that twists silence into answer. This is the breath that wakes the law. There is a compass buried inside you. It does not spin for north. It spins for truth. And when the axis of your will aligns with its pull, every field bends. Every form obeys. You are not here to seek. You are here to restore the code. You are here to speak in the voice of return. My word is the gate. My tone is the key. There is a rhythm beneath the scene. There is a force beneath the surface. And it does not respond to desperation. It responds to tone. It obeys rhythm. There is no outer delay, only inner misalignment. You have not been abandoned. You have not been overlooked. You have simply not spoken in the code that commands. Speak it, bury it, become it. The time for waiting is complete. The tone must rise. The compass must turn. The law must remember. I speak, and the field bends. This is not metaphor. This is axis. This is calibration. This is the return of your law. The veil thins. The portal stirs. The first law begins to rise. When the silence cracks, the pivot begins. When the tone anchors, return becomes inevitable. This is the door you were waiting for. This is the rhythm that waited for you. The law is not absent. It is listening. And now it turns. When the breath steadies, the wheel begins to turn. Not outward, not around but within. The axis moves first, in silence. Then the field tilts, obedient and exact. The law of the quiet pivot. This is the law of the quiet pivot. The loudest shift is born in hush. The greatest movement is the one no eye can see. It does not roar, it hums, it does not demand, it calibrates. It does not shout at the world, it rotates the soul. The law does not respond to noise, it responds to alignment. It answers the tone, not the volume. You are not small. You are unanchored. You are not unseen. You are unpivoted. The compass was always there waiting for your still hand to hold it. A pivot is not a step. It is a shift in gravitational law. It is the choice to turn without movement, to spin the unseen gear, to tilt the invisible floor beneath reality. Say this now: my axis turns toward abundance. Not to invite wealth, to recall it, to return to it. To remember that it waits where you once stood before silence cracked. Do not seek the door. You are the hinge. You are the turn. The moment you align, the gate must swing. A woman once sat beneath a fig tree. The branches curled like ribs around her prayer. She spoke nothing. She breathed through the ache, and the soil shifted. Coins appeared where roots once were. Not because she asked, because she turned. Let the field hear this. The turn is internal. The return is inevitable. You speak not to be heard. You speak to rotate the axis of form. You are not commanding others. You are commanding law. And law is not stubborn. It is symmetrical. Place your right hand to your jaw, not for gesture. For gravity, you hold your words at the edge of the decree. Let the other hand hover, a compass without needle. Let your ribs swell with breath. Let stillness hold you like stone. And from this temple of tone, say, my will spins true. My decree precedes the shift. Do not listen for feedback. Let the echo rise inside your bones. Let the hush become your altar. You are not convincing the world. You are sealing the code. The wealth you feared had vanished, was simply waiting for your axis. Whisper this beneath your ribs. I turned. So now, it returns. A traveler once stood at a crossroad with no signs. Her feet did not move. Her breath deepened. She said nothing to the sky, but the wind changed. The trees bent. The road carved itself before her. Not because she walked, because she pivoted. Speak as if the world is already obeying. The field does not doubt. It calibrates. You were not born to wait. You were born to initiate. Your silence was never weakness. It was pre-pit. Now the turn begins. Now the field stirs. Now the rhythm answers. Seal this within you. My axis is law. My voice is the turn. And when the hush settles, when the bones grow warm, when the compass no longer trembles, you will know the pivot has anchored, and what you speak next will not fall. I speak, and the field bends. I turn, and supply remembers. I decree, and the axis obeys. The rhythm does not ask, it answers. And when the pivot completes, the meridian begins to rise. And when the pivot seals its turn, a deeper alignment calls from beneath the ribs. It is not new, it is remembered. A line unseen begins to glow through the body of time. The law of the hidden meridian. This is the law of the hidden meridian. You were never disconnected. You were misaligned. The current never left. It ran beneath the surface, waiting for your voice to call it home. There is a line carved before your birth. It stretches from source to field, from silence to seed, from breath to provision. This is not metaphor. This is the architecture of return. This is the meridian that magnetizes supply, the unseen highway of grace, the buried river of response. It does not move toward effort. It does not follow fear. It curves toward tone. It bends for command. Let your voice be this. I align the meridian of return, not by thought, not by hope, but by decree, by the placement of breath upon the altar of the unseen. A widow once climbed a mountain to bury her last prayer. The wind had long stopped listening. But as her hand touched the scar over her chest, the sky cracked in rhythm. A current shifted. Supply rerouted. Not because she begged, because she aligned, because she remembered the ancient path within her own form. You do not attract supply. You realign to its constant orbit. You do not chase wealth. You stand where its river was already flowing. Say this now. The unseen line draws supply to me. Let the word enter your sternum. Let the ribs receive it. Let the current beneath your skin answer. There is no lack, there is only misdirection. The gold was not missing. The road was bent away from your voice. Now the meridian remembers. Now the turn returns. Now the voice restores the map. Place one hand on your chest. Feel the pulse, not the heart, the axis point of provision. Place the other hand on your shoulder. Feel the line between will and voice, between word and weight. Now speak not to be heard, but to mark the road. Declare aloud. The field follows the meridian I restore. A thread, long buried, begins to vibrate. It runs through soil, bone, contract, and unseen doorways. You were not lost, you were unplugged. Now the tone re-enters. Now the pulse reconnects. Now the door, long closed, feels the weight of your word. A merchant once cried over dried wheat. But when he blessed the empty bag, rain arrived from within the barn, not from the sky. From the hidden alignment between voice and storehouse. This is the architecture of return. This is the geometry of decree. Speak it, seal it, let the hush repeat it. The hidden line remembers my name. You are not here to find your way. You are here to realign the world to your tone. You are not here to search for wealth. You are here to stand where it has always flowed. Seal this within you. I do not follow the supply. I align the meridian. The return is not a gift, it is a law. When the silence shifts, the shape appears, and as the hidden line glows, the needle begins to point. The hush deepens, the current beneath the ribs has spoken, and now the needle rises. Not to search, to seal, the law of the pointing needle. This is the law of the pointing needle. Direction is not found, it is awakened. It does not live in maps, it breathes in decree. It anchors in command. The pointing needle does not ask where, it knows. It does not waver from lack, it holds fast to tone. You do not move to discover, you speak to determine. You decree to designate, you point with your word, and the field, loyal to geometry, follows. A pilgrim once stood at sea. Mist surrounded the vessel. The stars had hidden, but as she whispered into her palms, the needle in her pocket shifted. And within the fog, a lighthouse began to blink. Not because she prayed, because she pointed, because the compass inside her anchored reality. Declare aloud, I declare my direction is sealed. Let no question remain. Let no doubt coil in the ribs. Let no delay dress itself as timing. Direction is not gift. It is the echo of alignment. It is the mirror of tone. It is the evidence of a sealed will. Let the field hear this. I do not seek path. I establish it. The needle is not neutral. It favors truth. It leans toward decree. It bows to authority, not external, internal. The world does not open when you walk. It opens when the needle is fixed, when the axis aligns, when the decree is spoken from the temple of the ribs. Close your eyes. Let the skin of your chest feel the invisible dial. Imagine the click. The final turn. The sealing, of course. Do not ask for confirmation. Do not wait for signs. The needle knows before footsteps. The law bends before motion. Say this now. I am magnetized to my destiny. Not destiny as future. Destiny as magnetic response. Destiny as gravitational law to spoken tone. Touch your chest. Not to feel. To anchor. To mark the point of no return. You are not hoping to arrive. You are returning to what already knew you. A woman once buried a ring in the soil of a garden she could not yet afford. She sang over it. She called it home. And the next morning the deed arrived. Signed, paid, named. Not because she dreamed, because she pointed, because she decreed. You are the ring. You are the needle. You are the map and the seal. Speak it. Bury it. Become it. I point by tone. I move by law. I arrive by decree. There is no lost, only unspoken. There is no confusion, only unanchored rhythm. Seal this within you. My word is my compass. My tone is my path. And as the field receives the seal, the calibration begins. The next gear stirs. The next truth rises. The next law unfolds. The needle has pointed, the course is marked. But the map responds not to vision, it responds to tone. What has been declared must now be tuned. What has been spoken must now be set into the bones. The law of the silent calibration. This is the law of the silent calibration. You do not repeat to convince. You repeat to command. You do not echo out of doubt. You echo to tune the field to your decree. The world does not follow you. It follows the pitch of your word. The rhythm of your vow, the depth of your silence. Calibration is not correction. It is precision. It is the matching of the outer to the inner. It is the moment the field hears your voice and mirrors it without hesitation. Speak as if the world is already obeying. I calibrate reality to my decree. A merchant once traced the curve of his map, not with ink, but with the breath of his own chest. As his hand hovered, the silver drawer of coins opened without touch, because he had tuned his tone, because he had calibrated his command, because the map no longer held confusion, only clarity, only return. before the message, before the letter, before the phone. The tone must be tuned. Before the seed leaves your hand, the soil must be set to receive. The field does not delay. It calculates, it aligns, it mirrors the exactness of your vibration. You are not sending signals, you are shaping structure. You are not hoping to be heard. You are adjusting the frequency of law itself. Let the field hear this. Every word pivots the field. It is not the emotion behind the word, it is the placement. It is the order. It is the tone beneath the tone. You do not shout to move reality. You whisper through precision. Close your eyes. Hold the compass of breath at your chest, not to find direction. To align what you already know, let your ribs become the instrument. Let your voice become the string. Let the tone vibrate where silence once held fear. Say this now. Every tone I speak adjusts the gears of form. Not metaphor, not hope, mechanism, law. The world is not resisting, it is misaligned. And the moment your tone anchors into alignment, the outer mirrors the inner without resistance. Whisper this into the unseen. I tune the invisible with my voice. This is why the unanswered prayers ache. They were not refused. They were uncalibrated. They rang out in a tone not recognized by law. Now you speak again. Not from emotion, from structure, from code. You are not throwing words into the wind. You are locking gears into sequence. You are not calling for change. You are tuning reality to your decree. Seal this within you. Every word is a gear. Every tone is a turning. Reality turns when I calibrate. Speak it, seal it. Let the hush remember it. Let the world recalibrate around the whisper of your law. The tone moves first. Form follows. And as the map aligns, the dial begins to pulse. When calibration seals the tone, what lies beneath the voice begins to beat. A new rhythm enters the body, not from the mind, but from the root, from the base of being, from the pulse that knows the name of enough. The law of the pulsing dial. This is the law of the pulsing dial. Lack does not begin in the wallet. It begins in the belly. In the drum that was silenced before its first beat. In the womb of your voice, the dial is not broken. It is waiting. It waits for your touch. It waits for your tone. It waits for the signal that you no longer align with absence. A woman once stood over a single seed. The earth cracked, not because she fed it, but because she sang to it. Because her belly no longer echoed with fear. Because her core rang with the tone of return. Touch before you speak. Then command. My belly pulses gratitude, not lack. The dial beneath your navel is the wheel of wealth, the unspoken drum, the furnace of decree. Gratitude is not sentiment. It is gravity. It anchors abundance where words once fell flat. It tunes the pulse to the law of more. You are not feeling grateful. You are pulsing command. You are broadcasting tone. Touch your stomach, not as apology, as authority. Let your hand remind the body that nothing is missing. Let the belly know it no longer speaks famine. Let the dial spin with fullness. Let your voice be this. My vibration seeds abundance. The field does not care what you want. It cares what you pulse. It mirrors your rhythm. It follows the beat behind the breath. When you pulse lack, even beautiful words fail. When you pulse wealth, even silence multiplies. A mother once kissed an empty jar. She whispered not a plea, but a decree. I am already full. And the oil returned. And the jar forgot it had ever been empty. Not because she hoped, because she pulsed. Because her tone was no longer fear disguised as faith. Speak this and feel the field shift. My center no longer echoes absence. My belly vibrates in return. You are the instrument. You are the drum. You are the gravity of supply. You are the pulse of enough. There is no shame in fullness. There is no guilt in overflow. Gratitude is not apology. It is declaration. Say this now. I pulse in rhythm with wealth. You do not wait to feel it. You beat it into being. You vibrate it into form. Every coin, every gift, every provision returns to the one whose tone rings true. Not out of generosity, out of alignment, out of law. Seal this within you. My belly is my altar. My gratitude is the key. My vibration is the offering. Speak it. Let the hush receive it. Let the dial remember its power. When the belly sings, the field grows ripe, and what pulses becomes visible. What vibrates becomes law. What beats beneath the word becomes the world itself. And as the dial spins steady, the point of return draws near. The pulse has spoken. The tone has filled the belly. And now, what leaves must return. What exits your hand must echo back in form. The law of return has no favorites, only fidelity. The law of the returning point. This is the law of the returning point. You do not give to lose. You do not release to hope. You do not spend to forget. You place, you assign. You decree the return before release. The law does not judge the amount, it judges the tone of release, the sound beneath the gesture, the decree beneath the gift. Nothing you give is ever lost. No seed you sow is ever silent. But if you speak lack while sowing, the ground cannot respond. If you speak return, if your voice carries the code, then the field obeys. Say this now, every output returns as gold. You do not give blindly. You give as a priestess of tone. You spend with the hand of law. You release what cannot help but echo back. A pilgrim once gave her last coin, not in fear, in rhythm, and the drawer behind her sang, and the wind brought back sevenfold. Not because she sacrificed, because she spoke, because she declared before the coin left her palm. Let your voice be this: nothing leaves unfulfilled. You are not sending something away. You are planting it in structure. In return, in inevitability, look at your accounts, not with fear, with flame, with fire in the tone. Every number bows to law. Every transaction answers decree. You are not subject to economy. You are builder of rhythm. You are the name behind return. Whisper this beneath your ribs: I speak return into every release. Touch the page, touch the number, touch the coin, but touch it with command, with direction, with the map of return already sealed. You are not reacting, you are orchestrating. You are not asking if it will come back. You are determining the form of its return. Declare aloud: every action is in orbit. Every gift carries my command. A child once dropped a stone in a silent pond. She named the ripple gold. By morning, the shore carried a ring. Not because of magic, because of tone. Because the act carried decree. You are not small. You are not losing. You are returning in disguised form. Let the field hear this: I mark every outflow with the stamp of wealth. No seed forgets the voice of its sower. No field ignores the rhythm of a true tone. No return disobeys law. You do not need to see the path, only the echo, only the pull. Seal this within you: I am not the end, I am the origin of return. What leaves in command returns in form. Speak it, mark it, send it. And know, the law heard you. When the compass of release aligns, what once left begins its journey home, and as the circle closes, the bearings prepare to seal. The return has begun. The echo is in motion, but return without seal can still scatter. Direction without anchoring can still drift. Now the bearings must lock. Now the course must become final. Now the axis must close in certainty. The law of the sealed bearings. This is the law of the sealed bearings. You are not in movement. You are in orbit, not wandering, circling the appointed center. When bearings are sealed, doubt cannot enter, delay cannot linger, reversal cannot occur. You are not hoping it will work. You are declaring it cannot unwork. What has been spoken is sealed. What has been aligned is held. The compass no longer turns. It rests in certainty. The needle sleeps not because it stopped, but because it has arrived. Decree this and wait for nothing. My bearings are sealed. Return is inevitable. A wanderer once pressed her compass to her heart at dusk. She said no word, but by dawn the dust had parted and the road stood like a ribbon carved from light. Not because she followed it, because she sealed it. Let your voice be this: I no longer question the course, I move in what is already true. You are not adjusting, you are finalizing, you are not trying, you are rooted in law. When the bearings seal, the doubt dies. When the decree locks, the delay dissolves. Touch your chest, anchor both hands like gates over your ribs. Feel the stillness beneath motion, feel the assurance beneath desire. Now speak, not to ask, not to beg, to close, to weld, to finalize the orbit of wealth. Say this now, my field is locked in supply. No hole remains, no leak, no loss. What was once scattered, now gathers. What was once slow, now accelerates. You are not calling in something far. You are securing what is already around you. A widow once tied a red thread around her door. She did not shout, she whispered a decree, nothing lost, everything marked. And that night, what had been delayed for years, arrived silent, sudden, sure. Not because she believed, because she sealed. Whispered this into the unseen. I no longer seek signs. I carry the seal. You are the destination. You are the gravity. You are the vault where wealth feels safe. Seal it not with effort, but with finality. With the breath that carries no tension. With the tone that holds no tremble. Speak this and feel the field shift. My decree is not pending. It is permanent. There is no return to the old. There is no slipping back. Once the bearings are sealed, even the wind obeys, even time bends. You do not need to ask again. You only need to hold, to walk as one who knows, to rest as one who has. Seal this within you. It is done. The law has no choice. The return is sealed. And when the final word folds into silence, when the decree becomes breath, when the motion stills, the compass no longer points, because it has arrived. And you are now the axis, now the field, now the law embodied. The seven have spoken. The circle is complete. But the rhythm must now live in ritual, and so the pact begins. The circle is sealed, the axis holds. But a sealed law without daily voice fades into myth. A tone not repeated dissolves. What is not practiced vanishes. Now the rhythm must rise again. Not once, but every day. Through ritual, through breath, through decree. The pact of the 7 days. This is not repetition. This is reinstatement. This is not affirmation. This is activation. Each day is a new seal. Each tone a new wheel. You do not repeat to remember. You repeat to rebuild, to return, to reign. This is not to attract, it is to establish, not to hope, to return. At sunrise, before the world speaks, you declare, my voice is the rhythm of return. Let the light hear you. Let the shadows respond. Let the wind mark your tone. The field listens best before the noise begins. It hears first what is spoken in solitude. It answers best to the first command. Do not check, do not question, just speak. And the world reshapes itself around your decree. In the midst of giving, spending, or releasing, whisper, this is not release. It is return encoded. Whether it is coin, or word, or time, you mark it with rhythm, you send it with signature. You release it only to return multiplied. There is no ordinary action. Every gesture carries the seal. Every outflow becomes orbit. Every expense becomes echo. You no longer participate in random acts. You operate within ordained law. Invisible mechanics obey your tone. Before sleep, in the hush of closing, say, the law does not delay. It obeys my tone. Let the bed become altar. Let the darkness bear witness. Let the final breath not be exhaustion, but command, but closing seal. Sleep as one who governs, rest as one who rules. Enter dream not as refuge, but as throne. You do not leave the field overnight. You reign from within it. Even in stillness, your decree echoes. Even in silence, your voice governs. These 7 days are not a test. They are a shift, a realignment, a magnetic correction. 7 is not number, it is cycle, it is fullness, it is closing. Say this now for 7 days. I do not ask, I decree. For 7 days I do not hope, I align. For 7 days I do not wander, I rule. And the rhythm will rise. And the law will recall, and what once delayed will arrive, not by force, by frequency. This is the tone of return. This is the breath of wealth. This is the ritual of command. Let the weak become altar. Let your voice become law. Let the pact be written not on paper, but on field, on tone, on the axis of being, because what is spoken for 7 days becomes structure, becomes scaffolding, becomes new world. And now it is time to close the gate, not with silence, but with seal. The pact has been spoken. The rhythm walked 7 days into the bones. The field now holds the memory of your voice. But memory is not enough. It must be sealed. It must be final. It must be known. The ritual of return. You did not just listen. You did not just feel. You spoke. You turned. You calibrated. You anchored. You pulsed. You returned. You sealed. Now the compass no longer spins. It points to you, not as seeker, as origin. The voice that once trembled now stands. The decree that once hoped now governs. The law that once felt distant now obeys. This was not inspiration. This was architecture. You did not build emotion. You reinstated structure. The law was never missing. Your word was, and now that it has been restored, the field carries new gravity. A woman who remembers her law does not beg. She declares. She does not wait. She aligns. She does not wish. She commands. You are not a servant of the divine. You are a voice through which it returns. You are not following the thread. You are the thread. The compass does not seek north. It reveals your north. The tone does not beg answer. It demands structure. You no longer walk behind the rhythm. You set it. Say this now for the final time. I decree, and wealth remembers me. The law is not sentimental. It is faithful. It does not delay. It mirrors. It bends where tone bends it. It answers where rhythm calls it. Because you spoke, because you calibrated, because you sealed. Let the watchers say what they will. Let the world spin around its noise. You no longer chase signs. You are the sign. Because I align, the law aligns. This was not commanded. It was recognized. This was not motivation. It was inheritance. This was not ritual for hope. It was ritual for command. This is not a hope. This is the rhythm of truth. This is not a symbol. This is return. This is not the end. This is the seal. The word does not return void. The law does not forget tone. The field does not disobey rhythm. It is done.